Welcome back to City Mazda Stadium here in beautiful Adelaide for Day 6 of the 2019 Australian Lacrosse Association Under-15 National Tournament. It's now time for an all-SA derby in the second half of the minor crossover games, this time between the Storm and the Comets. Earlier today, in the women's side of the draw, the Lightning held off the Hurricanes by a score of 8-5, and in the game that's just concluded, the other half of this draw, the Ice booked their place in the 5th place playoff with a 16-10 win over Waikato Gold. Earlier as well on ground 2 in the major semi-final with the boys, the Western Metro have claimed the first spot in tomorrow's final with a big second half, outscoring New Zealand 7-1 in the second half to run out 13-7 winners over New Zealand. That relegates the New Zealand team to the 3rd place playoff, with the Southern Cross and the Stingrays just about to get underway over on ground 2, and we'll do our best to keep you up to date with that. Now, though, all our attention will go on the Storm and the Comets, and of course, this is a rematch of the 2018 Grand Final, and both sides have taken conversing paths to get here today. Starting with the Storm finished 3rd in Pool A. Very unlucky to not be in the major crossover games later today. Of course, the Flames of course, the Fire and the Stars progressed out of that pool, with the Storm going down to the Fire by a score of 11-8. But the game that they will be left ruing was the sudden victory loss that they sustained to the Stars, which turned out to be the deciding game for who would progress on this one, with the Storm coming out on the wrong side of that one, being their second loss of the week. They also managed to eke out a win against Waikato Gold by the score of 11-10, and they also beat the Lightning by a score of 14-4. As we just have a look at the ladder, as you can see, the Storm sitting in 3rd place in Pool A, and today they take on the Comets, also from South Australia, last year's runners-up, who finished 4th in Pool B with a record of 1-3. The Comets started the week with 3 consecutive losses, of course, taking on the undefeated Flames on day 1, going down by a score of 22-6. They then got rolled by the Ice 5-12, and then lost to Waikato Black 13-8. But managed to squeak out their first win of the week on day 4 when they defeated the Hurricanes by a score of 14-7. So a grand final rematch from last year. And to mark the occasion, I'm joined in commentary today by Hannah Goff, Australian Under-19 superstar and former Comet superstar. Hannah Goff. Hannah, welcome.
Hello, thank you.
It's an all-SA derby we've got here today, so that's no doubt nice and exciting for you.
Yes, very exciting. So good to see the younger SA girls get a shot to play it off today.
So you would know a few of the girls on both sides, would you?
Yeah, definitely.
So any in particular that stand out for you?
I definitely think that Mia from the Storm has had an incredible tournament. She's definitely a weapon in state-based player and under-18s, and she always puts up a good fight. So I think she'll be a key player for Storm today. And from Comets, I think Isabel Brown has been having a really good tournament as well. So it'll be interesting to see those two.
Yeah, lots of firepower on both sides. Obviously a really nice mix, of course, the way South Australia do it. They sort of mix the players up from all states, so that's a little bit different to some of the other states in the way they do their selections. Of course, the Storm were very, very strong last year. They had a dominant team last year, lost a lot of players, a bit of turnover. Got a few players through there. Any teammates of yours from Wilderness running around out here today?
I have a teammate, Liv Scamoni, on the Comets, so really good to see her grow over being able to play with her this year, particularly in under-18. So it's so good to see her out here, and I wish her all the best today.
Yeah, it should be a good game. So, look, are you going to put your neck on the line? Who do you reckon is going to pinch this one today?
I am a Comets girl, but I think the Storm have it out today. They've had a really solid tournament. Again, as you were saying, very unlucky to just miss out on those top games this afternoon. So I think they might prevail today.
Yeah, it should be a really good game. Of course, you know, both sides very, very well coached. Kate Opolsky, head coach of the Storm today. And, of course, great to see the evergreen Kath Connerty running around coaching the Comets. Kath's always great to hang around and loves what she's doing. So she's no doubt passing on a stack of knowledge to the Comets. I think she might have coached the Lightning last year. Yeah. So being able to sort of get around a little bit, which is good. As, of course, we look at our umpires for today's game, Brianny Chamberlain, Kerry Allen, Amy Rowland are our on-fields, with Taylor Voicey in the box today for us. So the side's now just getting themselves into position to get this game underway. We just get the girls just moving out into position, just trying to see who our starting goalkeepers are for today. I think that's Isabel Cargoitis from Glenelg, I think, in the cage. Is that it? I think they might be there for the Comets. And on the other end of the field, I think we, for the Storm, I think we have Madison Poland in the cage there from the East Torrens Paynham Lacrosse. A big shout out to our old man Trev, former opponent of mine from Basie. So g'day Trev if you're watching. As we're in the middle here today, first draw of the game. Draw's going to be pretty key today, Hannah.
Yeah, definitely. I think getting the draw and getting it down into offense is really what, in the women's game, it really makes a difference. So I think it'd be great to see whoever can get the draw controls, and we see the Comets girls get it here. So hopefully they can make the most, as we see they do.
Straight away. Do you think there's what's it like in these derbies? Is there any particular extra feeling amongst the players?
You know, there's always a little bit of extra rivalry when it's against some other SA girls, you know, so I'm sure the girls are looking to really give it their all and just prove to their other teammates that their team can.
Well, these two, what a
brilliant
great
dodge.
That was a fantastic step. Absolutely slippery there on the inside. That's Lindsay Looker from the Burnside Lacrosse Club. Stepping on the inside here. No doubt a teammate of our two wonderful interns today, Lily and Izzy, running around. So good to see the Burnside Bear there getting on the board early and tying this game up at one apiece. We're back in the middle now. It's Abbott back in the middle for the Comets. Just trying to see who's on the far side there. Well, of course, our commentary position is a little further back than we're used to here, but a great little venue, though, must be said. Obviously, in South Australia, a lot of these events are held in the some of the Sandful stadiums, and West Adelaide have really rolled out the welcome mat for everybody. What's it like playing on these sorts of venues? You play a few games here yet, or?
Yeah, we play a few at Norwood Oval when it comes to final season, and it's so great to get the big crowd, the big environment to support out for lacrosse. So, and it's so much fun.
Yeah. Well, that is an absolute chook raffle there with about 15 players. And probably a slight exaggeration there going for the ball, but the Storm have come up with it as they look to press forward again. Storm now kicking the ball around, looking good as they move it from player to player. Jasmine Vogelsong with the ball. Kicks the ball back around now through the inside as the Storm just asking questions of the Comet defence early, which seems to be holding fairly strong. The Storm seem to be preferring the one-on-one matchups from the outside.
Clearing out the space, letting those one-on-ones go, and as we see here, there's a call, so she'll get a free shot. Number 22, I think that's Mia.
Mia Inge, yep.
She'll look to make the most of this as she puts one low past the goalkeeper. So
it's a great finish, isn't it? She managed to get herself some space. She's been one of their better players this week, Mia Inge, one of their senior players from the Woodville Lacrosse Club. She's certainly been able to been doing some damage on the twine all week here. I think she's been one of their leading goal scorers. And a potential real star of the future, I would have thought, in South Australia. Yeah,
definitely. She's come up to play in the under-18s competition this year, and she's been a real standout for Woodville, never being afraid to push forward and whatever. So, yeah, I really look forward to seeing what she has in the future.
Yeah, she's their leading goal scorer heading into today with 11 goals, certainly figuring on the top 10 table for scorers this week as we're back in the middle of the game now as the Storm have raced out and they've jumped back in front to a 2-1 lead. Nice high-scoring game.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we want here. As the sun's starting to come out from behind the clouds, starting to warm up a little bit here as Vogelsong gets in the open space. Fantastic discipline there to look the shot off and kick it out to the outside to Alicia Robb. Looking to come the corner here. He's going to have an opportunity to rip the shot. That's a terrific save.
Brilliant save.
Great body position there from Kargitios. I probably must mess that pronunciation up, so feel free Facebook land to phonetically spell that one for me. That'd be awesome.
Comets are carrying it down, so there's a bit of open space. We'll see if they can make the most of that. Bit of a fumble.
There's Storm looking to continue to bounce out for the ball now. Ball on deck as they continue to fight for it. There's an opportunity here on this side now as the Comets look to try and ride. Great defence, great
Brilliant
ride.
defence.
As they turn the ball over and look to try and press forward now. As Kate Osborne
finds a bit of pressure there from Storm. Finds an open one in the middle.
a little bit willing there with the check.
Yeah, a little bit.
But she's gotten away with it. As the ball is now still on the deck, and the Comet ride is absolutely sensational.
Brilliant.
Not allowing... just how hard is it to ride, though, with the inability to sort of... obviously not the physical contact you get in the men's game. I mean, how hard is it to sort of get a good, effective ride?
It is quite hard in the women's game. You have to be quite disciplined in the way that you defend as to not crossbody or swing too much. So it is quite hard to execute an effective ride. So the Comets girls are doing really well slowing the Storm girls down.
Yeah, the Storm seem to be anchored in their defensive half at the moment. They've had the ball a couple of times, couldn't get it out past the halfway line. Really, really feverish riding from the Comets. Really nice little strategic setup here as they kick the ball through, looking to tie this game up. On the far side, just a score update, the Stingrays have opened a scoring over there, looking for a place in the boys' final. They're taking on the Southern Cross, who are undefeated this week, so a thrilling game on the far side. As we have a look here at this, looking to try and set up the Comets, steps on the inside, pops that one high. What a fantastic finish from Isabel Brown. That's her first goal of the game. What do we got going on here?
Stick check.
Just the old stick check. She really came that corner aggressively, didn't she? And I was really liked how she got some height on that to sort of go over the top of Madison. Madison's not a short goalkeeper, so she had to try and work that over her. Really nice little finish there, as you can see on the replay, as this game now is tied up at 2 apiece. Certainly not panic stations for anyone, but the Comets are looking pretty feverish.
Yeah, they are
looking
looking pretty good. They're definitely on that ride. You can tell they really came out with a mission today, looking to put as much pressure on Storm as possible. I think they know it's key that they keep possession, because the Storm are definitely a weapon when they have it in possession. So draw to Storm.
They look to try and press the ball forward there. The Storm have been good in the draw so far, probably been getting first use. That's going to put a lot of pressure on the Comet defence as they kick the ball around to X. Just everybody getting a touch again. The ball's now dispossessed again by the Comets. The Storm not moving the ball as confidently as I would have expected.
Yeah. Still looking to settle it down, though. Look for some cutters, some set plays, I reckon.
Yeah, moving the ball around. Nice pick at the top there. They look to try and free up some movement. 3.5 minutes to go in the first quarter here. Storm Comets tied. Winner goes to take on the ice for 5th place tomorrow. Of course, we're showing you the minor placing games today, so we'll be showing you these 8 teams today, and then tomorrow we'll be covering the final and the 3rd place games as Mia Inge turns the corner there and rips that one wide. Storm will get it back. Her speed's really an attribute, isn't it?
Yeah,
really,
definitely.
Really hard to defend for the Comets.
Yeah, and she's very agile too, so she can work her dodges either way. So that's also another hard aspect to defend.
The ball now just kicking around the top. Storm just searching, trying to find a way through this very, very tight Comet defence. Nice little switch there defensively. Ball just hanging around on the edge of the inside fan as Inge with the ball, looking for an opportunity. She's got some space there, looks to try and exploit it, and rips that one bottom left. What a tremendous finish.
Brilliant finish.
Yeah, the Storm really seem to be really trying to hammer home that creative space and leave
definitely.
the one-on-one. Do you think that's just they're trying to exploit their speed? Or
I think they have some really confident defenders who have a really good dodge, very agile, and as you're saying, the speed. So I think they're looking to really make the most of that. And as you can tell, Mia and a few of those other girls have brilliant finishes. So that's just, if it's effective, as we're seeing.
Because they seem to sort of be towing a line. They're kicking the ball around, and when they've been moving the ball around, they've turned the ball over on the occasion. But when they've created that space one-on-one, they're finding a way through to the goals, which has been, that's, I think, perhaps their answer today. That inside knowledge would certainly help as well, wouldn't it? Knowing the opponents as well as they no doubt do. As the ball kicks around now.
Brilliant centre. Again, here's that speed as she looks to take on the...
Steps on the inside. What's the call there?
There's a shooting free space, so she'll get a hash shot.
Going to be a bit touch and go if she's going to have the space to... Oh, no, she might have enough room there. Do you reckon she shoots or not?
I reckon she will try to move inside and cut the lane off. Oh, but a brilliant save. Well backed up, though, by the Storm. And just a wide pass out of bounds.
There's that passing we've been talking about.
Yeah.
As Karagitios, fantastic save there.
Yeah, brilliant save.
Got a big chunk of that. That's a really good one, particularly on the cusp of quarter time. I mean, just how much of a backbreaker are those ones when you're in a tight game? They get those goals in the dying minute. They can really suck the energy out of a side, can't they?
Yeah. And saving a free shot is quite hard because the attacker really makes all of the decisions. They can choose where they want to go, where they want to fake. So it's really incredible to see such a good save.
The ball now, just the Comets will have an opportunity here as we approach the dying minute.
And there's some space inside, but well covered by Storm.
Ball on the deck now as they continue to battle for it. Of course, the Storm, the defending champions, they won it last year. Won't get the opportunity here to repeat that dose after slipping to the Stars a couple of days ago. As they look to try and get one late. Inge throws the fake, sells some candy. The defender's taken it, and Inge with a beautiful finish on the bottom left. She was selling candy all the way down from the inside of the fan there. The defender's bit hard on that one, and what a great finish.
Really makes the most of her space and her opportunities. So.
What's really impressed me as well with her finishing so far, I mean, she scored their last 3 goals of the game, is just her position, where she's actually putting the ball. Not a lot Karagitios could do about those shots.
Definitely not.
And that's obviously the challenge. I mean, many coaches have developed many a grey hair trying to tell their players to position the ball right. And here's a coach's dream scenario. She's ripping them bottom left, and she's really been caressing the inside of the pipe, which is fantastic. So, but as we're on clock on here at the moment, about 20 seconds to go in this quarter with the ball popping up. Inge looking to try and get back into that. Comets with a quick opportunity if they move the ball to try and see if they can snag one back. Marielle Burns with the ball, but time is going to get away from her here if they don't move quickly. The ball's going to loose. The Comets are going to get it back, but I suspect time is going to beat them, and that's quarter time here at City Mazda Stadium. It's the Storm and the Comets. The Comets opened the scoring through Charlotte Dallison, but from there it's been all the Storm, with Mia Inge scoring 3 goals and Lindsay Looker also tickling the twine to give them their 4 goals, and singles to Charlotte Dallison and Isabel Brown. We just have a look at the replays here. They got off to a fantastic start, didn't they? That was a great little back roll, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Charlotte Dallison there opening the scoring for the Comets. And then Lindsay Looker got out on some space, a nice powerful move on the inside. Great little step and a great little finish again to tie it up at 1. Mia Inge then managed to get herself on the board from the free position shot, and this is these finishes we've been talking about. Had all the opportunities here to stick it, and she certainly made no mistake putting those low. That tied the game up at 2 apiece. And then back again, another opportunity again for Inge. As the Storm raced away, Inge, like as I say, had the last 3 goals of this quarter to get the Storm out to their 4-2 lead. The Comets certainly looked good in defence. Once they got the ball down in the offensive half, they definitely looked good with the ball and were really good at being able to lock it in there. Great finish there by Isabel Brown. Quarter time though, Comets trailing. If you're Kath, what are you saying to the team now? What are you looking to focus on?
I think they really need to focus on trying to win a few more centre draws. I think that'll be quite key. And then maintaining their possession when they have it down in offense, making good decisions, good passes. And then for Storm, I think what they're doing is really effective. So just keep going. And they're doing really well off the centre draw. So, again, very key.
Yeah, it feels like once the ball's gotten down there, if they stick... This is going to be an interesting one because I feel like when they're sticking to their strategies, they look good.
Definitely.
That's when their opportunities are there. There was that moment in the game where I think they went away from their strategy and that allowed the Comets back into the game. You feel like the Storm have control of this game, but if they're not careful, the Comets have the players that can exploit that, don't they?
Definitely. As you're saying, I think if they can stick to their game plan, as we've seen, it's been effective. But if they start to maybe drift off a little bit, I think, the Comets definitely have some players and enough teamwork to really come back and possibly make it more even.
Well, as we just get everything ready to go on the far ground, the Southern Cross are out to a 3-1 lead there. I think that's quarter time on the far ground. The Southern Cross leading the Stingrays by a score of 3-1. Of course, the boys South Australian sides, the Stingrays, looking to end a 28-year drought with the boys side of it. So a lot of pressure over there on that, but that looks like it's going to be a great game. We'll keep you up to speed with that. Also, a quick shout out to our sponsors, our partners, our broadcast partner, the Australian Lacrosse Association, who partner with us to bring you this coverage throughout the week. Thank you very much for your assistance. And of course, the City of West Torrens and Living Choice as well, our tournament sponsors and partners. For getting behind our great sport and again, putting on what is, without a doubt, the best tournament of the year, I think, Hannah.
Definitely.
Okay, as the Comets now press the ball forward here, looking for an opportunity to try and cut this margin back to 1. It's your teammate there. Is that Liv Scamoni?
Yeah, Liv Scamoni out there on the wing. Facing a lot of pressure here from the Storm team.
What do we got there? Is that a cross check, is it?
I think there's a push in the fan, so they'll have to clear it out for a free shot.
Big opportunity here for Scamoni to cut that. You reckon she shoots?
Yeah, I think she will. She's got a bit of space. There's one player on the left, but
Oh, there you go. Again, this is why we keep you around, Hannah. As Liv Scamoni opens up her scoring for the day, that's her first goal. What is the point there? What is the pushing then? So what is the rule on how far, for our people at home, for our friends at home, obviously one of our elite defenders in the country, what is the rule on the pushing there for the women's game?
You're not allowed to extend your arms to intentionally try to displace your offensive opponent.
Yep.
And obviously it's just there for safety and things. So if you're really pushing too hard, and it's inside the fan, that's what we just saw, that you clear it out.
Yep.
So you give the offensive player a free shot. So at high levels, we often try to put that pressure on outside the 15 so that if those calls do come, you don't pass up those free shot opportunities, because as we're seeing, that if the offense players can take a good shot, it can be detrimental.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that's just pushing, extending the arms a little bit too much.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially, it's really good to hear with the people back home who are probably new to the sport and you see these calls going on. And I've watched it a lot. I come from a men's background, and certainly a rule that I sort of learn and try and pick up. So it's great to hear that insight with how that all works. But as we just have a call back in the middle, as we're back in the middle, the Comets, of course, only trailing by a goal as we're under 10 minutes to go here in this second quarter. I think the ball's going to go back to the Comets. So they're pressing forward here. Seem to be edging a little bit ahead on the draws.
Yeah, and they've got their players ahead. So be interesting to see if they can push this transition, finding some open players, maybe looking to settle it down now, make the most of their possession.
That's Scamoni again with the ball. She turns the corner.
Brilliant.
What a shot. As she somehow created an angle on that shot. I didn't think there was an angle there when she came around that. But she's obviously dropped the shoulder and found the nice little channel, and that's a great finish, isn't it?
Yeah, so she takes it behind, teammates clear out, and she just uses that bit of a jump to find some angle.
Yeah, there seemed to be the slide, but the slide was a couple of steps slow.
Yeah.
So that created that space, and she sort of had that go where they had the switch on, defensively made the switch. Her player tried to come back to her, but that just created that 2 or 3 step window that she was able to exploit. And we have a game on our hands. This game's now tied at 4.
Yeah, definitely tied at 4.
Little part of you excited every time you see that goal, right? You still hold that allegiance to the Comets moving forward.
Definitely.
And for those at home, how do they pick the sides? Because obviously there's that mixture. So you get allocated, or do you get to pick which side you go into?
Everyone trials together, and then pretty much based on that, they differentiate all of the girls into different teams. And I think one of the main goals of the SA community is to try and mix and create that overall lacrosse community in South Australia, and I think that really helps when you get to mix all the girls from all the clubs together. So as we see the Comets girls get a turnover to bring it down again for another possession.
Yeah, it's Izzy Brown there.
Izzy Brown getting some space,
steps
but
on
met by a lot of defenders, and she manages to find some space.
That's Izzy Brown's second goal of the game. That's the Comets' fifth. How did she keep the ball? She had 5 defenders around her.
That is, yeah, incredible stick work.
And that's
as we see, there's a crash and there's just that right-hand side defender just takes a bit of a step back, and she finds a tiny bit of a gap. And for some players, that's all you need. And as we can see, that's definitely always needed.
And that's the best example of turning defence into offence, because she got a great piece down in defence, got herself some space, got the ball back herself, and has then pushed through. And
as we see, she comes back to the straight defensive line. So it really just shows the depth of some of these players.
Yeah. So. No, that's amazing. That's a great goal from Izzy Brown. And the Comets have jumped out in the second quarter. That's 3 goals in the space of 5 minutes. And they've turned a 2-goal deficit into a 1-goal lead. Big hello to everybody out there in Facebook land. Give us a shout out. Let us know where you're watching from. It's Australian Lacrosse and it's free. So make sure you share and like and follow. And let's get as much reach as we can here. It's a fantastic game here. I know it's a Friday as well. So it's a South Australian game, but it's a work day. So when the boss is away, get the phone out, do the old sneaky. Don't get fired. We take no responsibility for that. Get the phone out. It's a great way to pass the day. So let us know where you're watching from, if you're watching from interstate, or even if you are watching from just in the city, which we've got a fantastic view of here from the commentary box. As the Storm with the ball now, looking to try and tidy this up now.
Yeah, they'll definitely be looking to settle it down, find a cutter, set up that one-on-one. Try to look to claw back that 1-goal deficit they've found themselves in.
That's Ivy Larwood with the ball. She's had a very good week from the Eagles Lacrosse Club. Another budding superstar here. This time for the Storm, as Larwood steps on the inside and there's a flag down. And what do we got there, Hannah?
So we'll have a free shot for the flag within the fan.
And she has got acreage here.
Yeah, she has a lot of space.
Oh,
brilliant finish.
That is a great finish as well. That is a fantastic finish from Ivy Larwood as she opens her account right on cue as we were just starting to sing her praises. She's going to be really important here for the Storm. We're going to need the Storm will probably need to see her hit the back of the net a few more times. Her and Mia Inge, two of the big stars of this side, certainly done a great job all week. Getting themselves on the scoreboard. Mia Inge, their leading goal scorer, with 11 heading into today. Ivy Larwood with 9 goals. And, of course, Jasmine Vogelsong is another player who's to keep an eye out on. She's coming into the tournament with 6. So they've certainly got options, haven't they?
Definitely.
Ball up in the air. Oh, that's a
brilliant take by Mia.
Great take, isn't it? Yeah, right in traffic as she throws some more candy.
Finish.
That's another one. She's going to have to get a license to start selling that candy.
Yeah.
So she is selling it left, right and centre, and the defenders keep taking it in bunches as she has now created the space again, and that's her 4th goal of the game. She's having an absolute cracker. Again, another tremendous finish. The Storm just been very efficient offensively with their shots, haven't they?
Definitely. When they've had the possession, they've been able to really capitalise off of it. So I think that's what's really giving them the edge in today's game.
And that's certainly not a criticism of Kargidios. I think she just simply hasn't been given much of a chance to get involved with the saves, because the shots have been just so
incredible,
good.
Yeah. And there's a lot of power. They're placing them really well. They're moving her. So it is very difficult to defend some of these shots.
As we're back now at a score of 6-5. As we look over at the score on ground 2, at the moment, the Southern Cross are still leading that game by a score of 4-2. So the Southern Cross leading the Stingrays of South Australia 4-2. And a big shout out to anybody in Victoria who's watching. So we'll try and keep throwing those scores at you while we can. as the Storm, just this last few minutes, have managed to get themselves a little bit more back in the game, haven't they?
Yeah. Definitely, and I think they're looking to, again, capitalise off these one-on-one opportunities as Mia Inge again.
Oh, throws the fake again.
Her 5th goal.
Yeah, 5th goal. That's 5 of the 7 goals here from Mia Inge. Obviously, you know, if you're the Comets, you need to find a way to stem that flow. What strategies could they be looking to put in place here?
I think an earlier slide as soon as they recognise that Mia has the ball. So if she's behind or if she's up top, recognising that that's an opportunity and sending that slide early to try and possibly put on a double or back up the defender if the initial defender's beat. Otherwise, they could try a lockout, man off, try to cut her out of the game. That's always a little difficult when you're trying to develop a team defense style as well at these younger ages, because you take someone out and then you have to overcompensate and that sort of thing with only 5 defenders left. So I think possibly for the Comets girls right now, sending an earlier slide, hopefully to try and maybe initiate a double or just back up that defender who's beat initially. Yeah,
she seems to be getting those steps and getting herself in front and behind the defender, so she's getting that open look, and it's really not giving Kagidios much of a chance to get in front of the ball. So they certainly need to find a way. I mean, if you're the Comets, you look at that, and I think that's probably why Kath's called the timeout here, just to sort of consolidate the girls a little bit. As Mia scored 5 of the 7 goals for the Storm, she's the difference at the moment in this game. If we could just sort of, quell that a little bit, then that would certainly be the play. Of course, you've had a big year this year. Congratulations on the bronze medal.
Thank you.
It's nice to get us back on a podium somewhere.
Yeah.
How did you find that experience heading over there?
It was absolutely surreal, crazy. You go in thinking, oh, it's World Cup, it's going to be this and this, and then you get there and it is just all of that. It is exactly what you hoped it would be. It's more, you get to meet so many incredible people from different countries, make so many connections. Like, you just get to share a love of the sport and get to help grow that. And I think that was one of the things for me that was incredible, just being able to grow the sport, see how it's developing all over the world, just really puts it in perspective.
And how did you feel? What was the highlight of the week for you? Was it the England game? Sort of would no doubt be high up on that?
Definitely. I think as soon as we got to around 5 minutes of the last quarter, 4 to 5 minutes, everyone got a bit excited. There was everyone was starting to buzz, on the sidelines, and we got all that family and all those supporters who came, who were incredible. We couldn't have asked for a better group of supporters. So just all of that, and then being able to celebrate with them after and just spend some time together as the whole Australian lacrosse community was really nice.
Look, we do travel well as a lacrosse country, don't we? We have some tremendous supporters, and we were certainly trying to keep tab of that back home, and you could just see, what an amazing effort the girls put in to sort of get us back into that podium, and it was a tremendous job, so congratulations.
Thank you.
as we're back underway here, and again,
Mia Inge finds the inside.
Steps one. She's human. I think that's the first shot she's missed all game. She's just put that one wide. But that's that same issue, isn't it? She gets that channel, and there's no one cutting across to sort of escort her back out. She's getting those opportunities, as the Storm now will get another chance. The opportunity to have a look. They've been good in transition. That's where they're getting. So a good opportunity to look at their set here.
Yeah, definitely. See what they can bring together off the settled. Again, I think they're looking to capitalise off the one-on-ones or the two-on-twos here as they find Mia Inge.
Mia Inge again scores. That's her 6th goal of this game.
So the Comets girls did try to send that early slide, try to send that double, but she just faked and found her way out of it. So
incredible stick work to get through there. As the Comets momentarily take the lead at 5-4, but Ivy Larwood scores, and then before you know it, Mia Inge has done exactly what she did in the first quarter. 3 consecutive goals, and starting to get away from the Comets a little bit. As we just have a quick gander at the score on the far side, it's it's still the Southern Cross leading the Stingrays by a score of 4-2 there. I think we are in the second quarter over on ground number 2. So we'll try and keep you up to date with that one. Of course, the winner will progress to the grand final to take on the Western Metro, who prevailed over New Zealand this morning by a score of 13-7. Of course, again, big shout out to our sponsors, Australian Lacrosse Association, Living Choice, and the City of West Torrens for putting on an amazing week here. As Katie Abbott picks up the ball for the Comets. Been a long time since we feel like the ball's been down in the Comets half of the field. As we approach 40 seconds to go in this quarter. The clock will be coming on very, very shortly. as we just head over into red time. In fact, the clock's just stepping onto the field now.
So if the Comets girls could really push it here, find some space, get one on the board, that would be incredible for them.
Just a... What's the call there? Is that a...
Yeah, unintentional trip probably.
They look to continue to press forward now.
As they find a bit of a gap, bring it back up top, that passing just slipping up.
Ball loose, Abbott's with the ball. She's going to want to try and press here with the clock on. They're going to have a quick opportunity if they can move it. They need to create, but they can't fumble the ball as Inge looks like she's just been accidentally taken out. But that's going to be half-time here on Ground 1 at City Mazda Stadium. The minor crossover game. It's the South Australian derby between the Storm and the Comet. I think you call them showdowns down here in South Australia, don't you? We'll call it a showdown for you. So that's my West Australian coming out. As the Storm lead this one by a score of 8-5. Our goal scorers for the Storm, 6 goals to Mia Inge. You heard that correctly. That's 6 goals. Ivy Larwood with a single and Lindsay Looker with a single. And for the Comets, Isabel Brown and Olivia Scamoni have 2 apiece. And Charlotte Dallison has the lone scorer for our 5. So it's half-time here at City Mazda Stadium. We're going to take a quick break. Quick refreshment break, and then we'll be back for the second half. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network.
Back to the second half of the Comets Storm game here, as the Storm get the first centre draw, bringing it down into offence, as we see a brilliant save there from the Comets goalie.
That was an important save, wasn't it?
Yeah, very important.
Yeah, they didn't want that margin to jump out to 5 instantly.
Definitely not, but unfortunately, Ivy Larwood, I believe, just gets a step around her defender for a shot low, bringing the Storm to a 4-goal lead over the Comets. As we see here on the replay, just gets a foot in front, bounce shot.
Yeah, it's her second goal of the game. It's a really important one for the Storm as well. Sort of just creates that nice little 4-goal buffer for them, doesn't it?
Gives them a little bit of leeway to really see what they can do in their settled play. Still try to push their fast breaks, but gives them a little bit more insurance as such.
Well, that's right, yeah. And I mean, look, again, for the Comets, it's important that they try and get that back now. That's 5 unanswered
definitely.
for the Storm.
Yes, and a centre draw from Katie Abbott is definitely a way to start that momentum.
Yeah, they need to start to really try and get those first possessions, because I think they've looked good once they've got the ball in attack.
Yeah, definitely.
What a nice little step.
But a brilliant save.
There's a flag down. They're going to get another opportunity by the looks of it. No. Great save by Madison Poland.
Brilliant.
I think that was Ava Booker that turned the corner, creating that shot. And the Storm are out now as they move the ball down into attack. That's with Alicia Robb. Takes the ball to X. Options are plenty, but can't quite corral the ball there.
Ball just goes out of bounds, so we'll see an opportunity for the Comets.
The clock just stopped there as they get the ball back. Just a score update on the far side. Southern Cross leading by a score of 5-2. Got a few fans out here in Facebook land, Hannah. Kelly McDonald saying you're the best commentator ever.
Thanks, Kel. Love you.
Lippy Arscott asking for the sound effects.
Sorry, Liffy, that's an SA special.
As the ball now, just the Comets now kick the ball down to X. The ball is with Olivia Scamoni. She had a really good second quarter there, scoring a couple of goals.
Yeah, definitely. As they look to try to push it from behind. Oh, just a little bit wide.
That's Charlotte Dallison. The opening goal scorer of the day for the Comets.
Yeah.
Just putting that one high. Opening goal scorer for the whole game. Hasn't scored since, but she'll be looking to try and work her way back into this game.
Definitely, I think if the Comets could get a goal now. Oh, but another brilliant save.
As over on field 2 there, still looking at a score of 5-2 in the way of the Southern Cross. If you are watching, if you are trying to sneak this in at work, or if you're back into state, let us know where you're watching from. Give us a shout out. We'll try and mention you in the broadcast.
Katie Abbott finding the inside and a top shelf finish. Incredible.
That is some top draw there. That was a fantastic finish from Katie Abbott. That's the Comets 6, and they end the run of 5 goals, more importantly.
I think they definitely needed to slow that Storm momentum, and a goal like that can really lift team morale. So I think that'll be important as the Comets go into have 8.5 minutes or so left. So I think if they can continue that momentum, could hopefully tie this game up a little bit closer.
But the key now, I think, for them isn't necessarily, I mean, it's nice to end that run, but now I think their challenge is going to be doing it multiples.
Yeah,
keeping they need to start scoring in bags, because I don't think you're going to be able to stop the Storm.
Yeah.
But if you can score in buckets, like if you can get 2 or 3 here and there to sort of eke your way back in, then that would certainly be the play for them, and that's going to be really critical moving forward. And they have to really important, as I say, they have to accept that they will give up goals to the Storm. Yeah. What they can't afford to have happen is the Storm go in bunches again.
Yeah,
because that's where this game's gotten away from. They're back in the middle now. Katie Abbott back in the middle for the Comets. Of course, the last goal scorer. Ball's now loose. On the far side, looks like the ball is going to go as we wait with bated breath. We try and recover the ball, because it looks like we've got a timeout on ground 2. The Southern Cross still leading the Stingrays by a score of 5-2. what is their quarter?
So I believe there'll be a toss here, the out of bounds ball from the centre draw. So either the possession of either of these teams will be really important. But there is a break on the Storm side, so Comets will have the ball for a bit of possession, trying to look to narrow down that 3-goal deficit that they've found themselves in. So Liv Scamoni carrying it down the middle, facing a lot of Storm pressure.
Is that just on a side note for the people who are watching in Victoria who are no doubt keen for the Southern Cross score? We've literally on the fly created a new little thing. So on the top left, we'll try and from time to time bring up the clock and the score.
Brilliant save there. Liv Scamoni found an open spot, but a brilliant save by the Storm goalie again.
The margin cut to 3. Still plenty of time in this one. If you can get the ball on your terms, you can score in bunches very quickly. And they're going to get an opportunity here now. This is Kate Osborne just on the sideline, surrounded by Storm defenders. She's got an opportunity though.
Finds no one's open space. Slides do come.
Got players on the bottom left.
But it's a flag call, so...
She had Scamoni on the bottom left-hand corner, but she couldn't find her.
Really hard to see through a lot of that triple team pressure.
Yeah.
But she's found herself with a free shot, so to capitalise off this would be really good for the Comets right now. Brilliant top shelf finish.
Really, really good effort there, beating Madison Poland. Fantastic finish from Osborne. That's her first goal of the game. Again, from the free position shot, she was aggressive, and that's how she earned herself the free position, and she pops that one high. I will say as a compliment to the goalkeepers, particularly in the women's game, I find goalkeepers particularly polite.
Yes.
I like that they get the ball, they're not too upset.
Yeah.
They roll the ball back, everybody talks. I know if I ever let a goal in as a defender playing men's lacrosse, I'd probably have a ball being thrown back at my head from my own goalkeeper. Shout out to you, Ryan Spark, if you're watching. But they're so much angrier in the men's game.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, so, but you know, compliment to the women's goalkeepers. So very, very polite, which is nice to see. So. As we're back in the middle now, the Comets making a real fist of this, 9-7, with 5.5 minutes to go.
Storm managed to pick up that ground ball, looking to push forward.
As it looks like we're at half time, I think, over on ground number 2. And the Southern Cross are leading that one by a score of 5-2. As the ball is loose on the back corner there, we couldn't get the ball there. Tess Sherman in front of the ball from the Eagles Lacrosse Club.
Be Storm possession.
The ball now kicks around the back to X. Ball with Lindsay Looker. She
finds brilliant save. But it's backed up.
Looking to battle for the ball now. There's a lot of Storm players around there at the moment, but we've got
too close to the head check. So it will be a Comets ball at the top of the fan.
So our friends at home. So what's that call there?
So just someone's swung a check and it's just, as we say, pop the bubble. So there's a bubble vicinity for safety to try and not hurt people. So obviously that check's just come a little bit too close to the head. They've called it as dangerous, so it's been a turnover.
As we continue to press forward now, the ball has been lost, but they're going to get it back. So still an opportunity here with 4.5 minutes to go in this quarter for them to cut this margin. Comets with the ball now, just on the far side from our commentary position there. That's Isabel Brown, who scored a couple of goals today. Looks to go the ball, but I think it's going to beat the Comets players, and it's probably going to go to the Storm now. Certainly no deflection. As they bring the ball back into play, that's Isabella Reynolds with the ball on the far back corner. Apologies, we've gotten that correct. They are a long way away from where we're sitting. We almost need binoculars.
We need binoculars, I was just about to say.
As no, I think that's happy. That's Reynolds with the ball now. Kicks the ball on the inside. Having a look upfield here as the Storm are going to leg the ball out here. They've got plenty of time. She's got options aplenty up advance if she can find them, and she does. Kicks the ball over. I think that's Looker. Steps on the inside.
Finds herself free in the middle, but with a lot of Comet pressure.
Injured the ball. Tries to fend the ball to Inge. Can't quite fend it off those. Looker steps on the inside again.
Finds an inside.
We're going to have a free position shot coming up here now. Hello to everybody out there in Facebook back, in Facebook land. you're just joining us, this is the minor placings games, crossover game between the Storm and the Comets, two South Australian teams. In effect, the Storm and Comets, last year's grand finalists, doing battle, and we've got a great game on our hands here as the Comets are roaring back into this game.
Yeah, definitely. It was brilliant defence there to stop that free position shot. Storm have had a lot of those, so it's really good that the Comets are slowing that up. But there is a push call, so ball will go to the Storm.
Got an opportunity here if she can get a couple of quick steps in. Oh no, they've just pulled her probably out of position there. Probably
yeah, and there's looking for the slide there for the Comets girl. So be interesting to see if she can pass it on and then find some free space. But
great,
brilliant save.
Yeah, great save. Got herself in there. She's put the ball down now as the Comets are going to look to try and leg the ball out here, trying to turn the Jets on.
But a strong ride by Storm, but found an open one in the middle. Ball's a bit fumbled, so
Larwood with the ball.
Larwood picking that up.
Great composure and control there. But she had a player there. She had Looker on the bottom left as she drew and dinked that one down, but she couldn't quite see her. But I think, are we in card territory here, or no? Just good physical defence. So. Of course, we have no cards in this game yet, but being played in a fantastic spirit as the Storm lead this one in the dying moments of the third quarter by a score of 9-7. As the second half over on ground number 2 is just getting underway with the opening face-off, with the Cross leading the Stingrays by a score of 5-2. Could be looking at an all-Victorian grand final tomorrow on the boys' side of the draw, and of course later today on the major part of the women's, we have the Western Australian Derby between the Stars and the Flames. But as Larwood scores, and that's a real momentum shifter, as Larwood brings up her third goal of the game. That's her 9th and 10th, and we said it at the outset, she was going to be really key to the Storm's chances, and she's responded with 3 goals. Yeah.
So that brings the Storm up to a 3-goal lead. So looking to keep that little bit of a buffer throughout the game. Comets really need a centre possession here, so if Katie Abbott can get one to herself or add one wide for her teammates, that'll be really helpful. Otherwise, I think Storm have a really good chance to keep control of this game.
Yeah, back in the middle, they really need to take control and shift that possession count back towards the Comets' way if they want to try and work their way back into that game. Again, the key now is then they can't let the Storm score again. Otherwise, it's now 4-goal margin again, and it's all been for naught. So the Storm, they look like they will get an opportunity here, as that's Leah Casler from Brighton just trying to clear the ball out for the Storm. Kicks the ball forward
to Alicia Robb. Finds herself with some space behind. As the clock's coming on the field here, as we look to have around 10 seconds remaining of the third quarter. A bit of space here for Storm.
That's on the outside there. It's a bit of a fight. Tries to kick it. As everybody's looking at everybody, blaming everybody. And someone's going to get the ball in a second. As we're all waiting with bated breath. And it's going the Comets' way, so the Comets... I
think time might just have escaped them, though.
We are pretty much right on the death knell at the end of this third quarter. She's just going to have to throw the ball down as far as she possibly can do and hope for a lucky bounce.
Yeah.
That is three-quarter time here at City Mazda Stadium, and it's the Storm with a late goal to thwart the Comets' attempts to try and get back into this game. But it was still a pretty good quarter for the Comets as they look to cut their margin, and they trail by 3 in the last quarter. The goal scorers for the Storm, Mia Inge with 6, Ivy Larwood with 3, and Lindsay Looker with 1. For the Comets, Olivia Scamoni and Isabel Brown have 2, whilst Kate Osborne, Charlotte Dallison and Katie Abbott have 1 apiece. As we just have a look at some of the replays there from the third quarter. You can see there, particularly early on in this, the Comets really had the run of it, didn't they, as they got their way back into it.
As we see, Katie Abbott just finds a way through a few defenders and finishes a top shelf shot.
Yeah,
that was a really good momentum shifting shot, and we'll have another one here off the free shot. So Comets finding ways to claw their way back, but just not in enough bunches, as you were saying, not enough goals each round. So
Yeah, their 2 goals there were really important, particularly Abbott and Osborne. But the backbreaker then is this one here. They get it to within 2 goals, set themselves up for the last quarter. But Ivy Larwood, as we said, was going to be really important to the Storm's chances, and she with a great finish there for her 3rd goal of the game. As we hit 3-quarter time, and we use this opportunity again just to thank our broadcast partner, the Australian Lacrosse Association, for their continued support of the ALN and everything we do. We'd also like to thank our tournament sponsors, Living Choice, great supporters of the Australian lacrosse, and in particular South Australian lacrosse, as well as our other sponsor, the City of West Torrens, partner in this, did a fantastic job making this facility available. They do it differently in South Australia. They run at these venues, and I must say I've been very impressed so far with what I've seen. It's been really, really good. So big thank you to those guys, and again, thank you to Living Choice in particular. And, of course, the beautiful artwork on the ground, as we can see the Living Choice logo just on this side of the facility. So looks really, really good. So, but, look, heading into the last quarter, where do you see the keys of this game lying?
I think if the Storm can stick to their game plan, which has been really effective throughout this entire game, I think that will be quite difficult for Comets to combat. I think in terms of Comets, I think they just need to, like we've been saying, just score a few more goals each time, get on a bit of a momentum run, get a few, claw back that deficit, try to tie the game in a bit closer. They're getting one here and there, but the Storm just keep finding one to come back with, and when they get their momentum, it's quite a few goals. It's a strung together momentum. So I think that's really the difference in today's game.
And I think from the Storm standpoint, the Comets have proven to be quite feisty, and if you give an opportunity, they get in there. So from a Storm standpoint, I think this first goal is key for them. Yeah. If they can really blunt the Comets, I mean, from a Comets standpoint, this could be a backbreaker. If they fall behind by 4 or 5 early, then that could pretty much be, the floodgates could open, which would be really good for the Storm. So, as I say, the Storm certainly in the upper echelon of teams this week. Very unlucky to not be in the majors, which, as I was saying, will be contested later today with the Flames taking on the Stars, 2 WA teams. We have the Fire from Victoria taking on Waikato Black in the other major crossover game. On the other side, the Southern Cross have scored another goal, so they are up by a score of 6-2 on the ground number 2. As the Storm do push forward here with the ball. That's Lindsay Looker with possession. She's going to come all the way back over to our side of the ground. Big opportunity here. Look at
she has a lot of space.
This could be that backbreaker we're talking about.
But brilliant defense there by the Comets girls, cross crease to make up for that. Brilliant work.
That's Tess Sherman. She's covered that off, has forced the turnover and come up with possession. That is a massive effort in the context of the game.
Yeah, definitely really important to switch the momentum from Storm having all of that space, a possible lead to 4 goals there, just to be able to give the Comets another shot at possession and try to capitalise off this. But a bit of a missed pass.
The ball now just in dispute this side of on the far side, is deep in the south in the Storm offensive half as they kick the ball around, take the ball back to X, and the Storm come up with possession again. The Comets unable to clear the ball on that occasion, with the margin still sitting at 3. The score.
Alicia, Rob and Jasmine working together behind the cage. Bit of a fumble. A
little bit sloppy there. But no pressure at all from the Comets. They seem quite content to sort of let them sit behind, don't they? You think that's a bit of a byproduct of the clear strategy the Storm had early in this game to sort of create one-on-ones?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not pressing.
Yeah, they needed to sit up higher from behind just in case they needed to slide up to that high person, because they were setting a lot of one-on-ones at the wings or the outside of the top fan. So I think that was... great. Liv Scamoni gets a brilliant intercept on a flip there. She looks to press, but receiving a lot of pressure from the Storm.
It's probably where it'd be useful to sort of peel back, wouldn't it? Get the ball in the goalie, change the field, because they've got an ample amount of space here. And the ball, how many times do we hear this? The ball moves faster than your feet.
I've heard that one a few times.
She's got some players open if she can find them. Nice check there by Looker feverish in her defence, not giving her much room, but she's going to be pinged here. What's the call there?
I think a swing, so check again, bit too big, pop the bubble.
The ball now just goes on the inside here. course, from those watching at home, if you're new to the sport, of course, the men's game very different from the women's game. A lot less contact, but the sheer athleticism of our women's lacrosse players really is in the elite category. The amount of running and speed and the agility that they show really is something to admire. As the Comets have a big chance here, Scamoni.
Yeah, so Scamoni had a push call from her defender, so she gets an opportunity to... But a brilliant save by Madison Poland.
Yeah, great save. It's the ball now just kicking around again. The Comets recover the ball back. Another opportunity.
Nice check.
What a great check from Jasmine Vogelsang there. Vogelsang just got enough of that to potential goal-saving check.
Yeah. As we can see, the Storm putting on a lot of pressure here. Obviously, coaches letting them know that the game is far from over. They need to continue to put the pressure on. So we can see that they're doing that quite effectively.
So the ball here on this side as she steps on the inside. Looks to try and backhand that as the ball just pops to X. Going to want to be careful there. I mean, I don't know if the women's rule is similar to the men's rule, but you've got to be in bounds to get the ball back. And this Comets player might have just about beaten her to the ball, which would have been awkward because the next closest player was the goalkeeper. A little known rule there from the men's side of things anyway, as the ball goes across the top. The ball in dispute now. The Storm looking to try and win that one back.
But I think we're going to see a crease violation, so goalie's ball.
Madison Poland now with the opportunity to sort of break it open here. We're 5 minutes into this quarter and the score is unchanged as both sides have certainly had their opportunities. Poland looking for some help as she eventually finds it when she kicks the ball to X. As they look to try and press out there. That's Lauren O'Callaghan with the ball. Finds her teammate open in Olivia Perez-White from Glenelg. Looks to step on the inside. Sells some foot candy.
Check too close to the head, so there'll be another free shot opportunity for the Storm here. So there's been a few attempts shots at goals this quarter, but goalies have really stepped up stopping it. But
Olivia Perez,
a brilliant finish by Olivia Perez.
That could be a backbreaker for the Comets. That's her second goal of the week. That's her first goal of the day. So really good finish by Perez White. As the Storm pushed this margin back out to 4 with 6.5 minutes to go, and starting to get desperate for the Comets.
I think so. I think this is really where, and as the minutes start to fade away, I think this is really where you need to start putting on that extra pressure, just trying for those doubles to see if we can, see if they can put some more pressure on, try to cause some turnovers, give them some more offensive opportunities, but I think the Storm are looking really strong as we saw a very strong defensive set from the Storm there, stopping a few shots at goals. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Comets can bring some forward.
Just a quick score update on the far side, as you can see there, with our nifty new little top corner scoreboard. Southern Cross have extended that margin. They're out 7-3 on the Stingrays with 3.5 minutes to play in the third quarter over on ground number 2. As back here again, we also have ourselves a game going on with the Storm and the Comets. The Storm leading by a score of 11-7. So we have another opportunity here for the Comets to try and close this gap. They're going to want to start to try and convert on the opportunities that they've had as Scamoni with the ball. Looks to come the corner, kicks the ball across the back to X. That's Ava Booker looking to try and take the game on there from the bottom left. Got herself a bit of room there. I think Mia Inge can probably slide across there and just cover this off. But if she draws the defender, there's an opportunity. Looks to change the field, kicks the ball back to X to Scamoni. Ball on the deck, in dispute. Great defence from the Storm. The ball's going to bobble.
Brilliant back check again.
Oh, that's another one. That's 2, isn't it? 2 goals this quarter that I think potentially been saved from some great back checks. Certainly not giving up, that's for sure.
Free position look here for the Comets.
A bit of a leg race there to the back line, and which way is that gone?
I think it's gone in the way of the Comets.
It was touch and go, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was very close.
That was a race. Abbott with the ball now looks to try and come the corner. The Comets need to score one. They need to score one soon. Might be an opportunity here, but it might be a not on her preferred side. As I think Katie Abbott's going to potentially get an opportunity here. As on the far side, the Southern Cross have scored another goal.
Her last goal was very similar situation. She had a lot of space, made her way through a few defenders. So if she can look to finish the top shelf here, puts a little bit wide.
That was probably the pressure coming in from the right, wasn't it? There was a number of Storm girls looking to come across to try and shut that down as they have an opportunity. Poland again
another brilliant save.
Poland has been a brick wall this last quarter. She has made, by my count, about 4 last quarter saves. She's been magnificent keeping the Comets at bay as there's 3.5 minutes to go in this one.
Ball's passed down to Ivy Larwood, finds herself some space and a low finish. So that really started with the save from Poland. So as you can see, everyone in Storm really stepping up here, understanding that the game is not over and they've found themselves with a 5-goal lead with about 3 minutes left. So
it's all shooting efficiency, isn't it? It's sort of looking at it and going, well, the Comets have had their opportunities. There's been a couple of really good back checks. Combined with when they haven't been able to get to them, Poland making big saves. At the other end, Larwood stepped up magnificently. She's had 3 of their last 4 goals, and of course that one from Perez White as well, just enough to sort of break the Comets' stride a little bit. But it looks like that might have created the buffer that I think's finally broken the Comets on this one. So look, the Storm now likely to head into what will be an intriguing matchup tomorrow against the Ice. Could easily have been the grand final. Judging by how close both those sides only a goal off being in the majors, the major round. And of course, the Comets will fall back and they'll take on Waikato Gold, and what they haven't played this week. So that'll be a really exciting game. Certainly not trying to call it off. Still 2 minutes left. Crazier things have happened, but I think the Storm just about square this one up as a win for them.
So with Isabel Brown bringing it down, bit of a fumble picked up by the Storm.
So the ball now just looks like it's kicked forward as Larwood can't quite get the ball, but she's got time to corral it and get it back in her possession as the Storm look to press forward. At this point in time, do you sort of start to take the foot off the pedal a little bit offensively?
I think it's really, this is where you look for your 90 to 100% options on your shots. So if it's 90%, 100% there, that's when you take it. If it's anything lower than that, at this point, they have a buffer. The game's slowly running out. They have the time to look for those really, really good shots. They're not in a rush.
Because, of course, no stall rule in the women's game, so they can kill the clock if they need to. Yep. Steps the corner there. Oh, that might be a blow to the head, and I think we might have a card on our way here. I'd hazard a guess. Yep. So if there wasn't any doubt, I think we might just about be there now as we look and just see who's going.
I think there was a check for the goalkeeper checked, so there's been a yellow card given to the goalkeeper.
So now, do they have a designated? The women's sport game have a designated goalie rule, like the men's. If the goalkeeper gets a penalty, there's a nominated defender to go. If there's
I think so.
So somebody else is going to have to take this for Isabella.
Yes, as we see the.
So somebody's.
Oh no, that was just offside.
So as we just try and take a moment here to try and sort this one out, the clock's been stopped. We're predicting about 40 seconds to go in this game, so just about all done and dusted. With this opportunity, any standouts for you today, players of the game?
I think Mia Inge had an incredible game. 6 or 7 goals. 6 goals.
6 goals in the first half.
And I think also Madison Poland really has stepped up in this last quarter, being a brick wall, really helping to cement that buffer that the Storm had. I think the Comets, Isabel Brown had quite a good game as well. Liv Scamoni getting in there as well. I think it was
Scamoni was very good, particularly when they got that lead temporarily.
So the goalies come out to take the foul. So it's an open net.
So is this in your 90-100 rule that you take?
Yeah. You definitely take that.
Jasmine Vogel's song as well. She hadn't scored yet, but that's her first goal of the game, and there's no asterisks on that one. That counts just like the rest of them. She will be taking that one for sure as the Storm now push this margin out to 13-7 in the dying moments. That 13-7 probably not reflective of the closeness of this game. It's probably
definitely not. I think Storm were just able to run away with it in this last quarter, keeping their momentum strung together, and Madison Poland being a really solid brick wall down there. So I think it was a very close game.
Yep.
But Storm were just able to string the moments together a bit quicker, and
they were just really efficient on the offensive centres. We're just about at three-quarter time over on ground number 2, and the Southern Cross are leading that one by a score of 8-4. That's 8-4 on the far side. As ball just in the air now as the players look to contest to try and get that one back. Ball on the deck. Storm will lock to try and push forward as we've got about a minute to go in this game now. We've just corrected the clock on that as Mia Inge looks to step on the inside. Been quiet in the second half. Hasn't had the dominating first half that she did.
Yeah, well, she's giving a free shot opportunity here, so could
get her seventh.
Could get her seventh for the day.
Well, I'd hazard a guess and say that given the accuracy that we were seeing from her earlier
definitely.
in the day, she's probably a very real opportunity to stick in this one. I reckon she's going to try and pop it bottom left.
Yeah.
Just about put the house on it. Here we go. Oh, bottom right.
Bottom right.
Bottom right. That's right. Lucky I didn't put the house on it. We'll edit that. But that's her. That's another one for the Storm. That's their 14th of the game. That's Mia Inge's 7th goal of the game.
So scored 50% of Storm's goals today. I think that's just really reflective of how dominant she's been even throughout this entire tournament.
Yeah, she really has been good, hasn't she? This will definitely put her up in the top echelon of the goal scorers on the goal scorers table. She was
definitely
top 10 heading in. 7 goals will definitely help. That'll definitely put her up there somewhere. So as we're back in the middle now, just a minute to go in this game as we just clock down to the bottom little bits here. Back in the middle for the draw, just on the far side there. Still looking at an 8-4 scoreline there. Looks like it's three-quarter time over on the far ground. Big shout out and thank you very much to everybody tuning in.
Brilliant draw from Brown, looking to push forward. She might be able to, but just
rips that one
high,
top right. Aiming for the pipe, aiming from just inside the pipe. Bit of power on the shot. Always good to see the power coming out, particularly at this level. But make sure to stick around. We're going to have a break after this game. We're going to come back for Braves and Thunder. And then after the Braves and Thunder, we're going to be trying to move on to the other minor crossover game involving the Phantoms and the Northern Warriors. So something for everybody this afternoon on the boys' draw. As the Storm look to try and press their larboard.
Jasmine in.
Vogelsong puts that one, tried to blow the goals back over to Western Australia with the time she had with that, but she's ripped that shot, and that's the Storm's 15th, and that was what we were talking about, weren't we? Once they got a couple, the floodgates open.
Really the last 3 minutes, I think they've scored 4 or 5 goals in these last 3 minutes, so I think that's really just been helped them. They've just run away with it really in this last quarter.
No, they absolutely have, as they've kicked that one out now to 15-7 with 30 seconds to go in this game. All done. As I say, the Storm now will move on to the 5th place playoff. Intriguing matchup tomorrow against the Ice from Victoria. And the Comets will proceed to take on Waikato Gold. Of course, this a mini final in itself, if you will.
Yeah.
With bragging rights in South Australia on the line. Of course, the other 2 sides are Lightning and the Hurricanes will do battle for 9th tomorrow. But with this win, the Storm will now be the highest-ranked South Australian side coming out of this this year in 5th or 6th. The Ice, of course, will have an opportunity. The Comets will have an opportunity to go from 7th. So as this game just wraps up, we're still under 30 seconds. It feels like this last 5 minutes has gone on for 15 minutes.
It's gone on for a while.
It's definitely gone on for a while. As over on the far ground, it's 8-4 to the Southern Cross. As the Comets look to try and press to see if they can score one in this final quarter here.
Finding a bit of open space inside, probably just let it rip to.
Poland has been so good in the cage in this quarter. As the Comets look to get that back, Poland's going to be... most goalkeepers like to have a shutout quarter every now and then, so she's going to be vividly defending, and no doubt her defenders are going to be doing the best to try and help them in that quest. as the ball now rolls over through, but they can't do anything with that as the
fumble.
Storm now clear. The clock is on as we roll into the dying seconds of this. There's still time for the Storm to score one more if they want to, and they look like they're going to press and have a go.
Oh, but a nice save right on the whistle.
On the whistle, yep. All done and dusted here from City Mazda Stadium as the Storm hugs all round. A lot of teammates here across both sides, but the Storm have prevailed in this one by a score of 15-7. Certainly not reflective of the game we saw.
Yeah, definitely not a score I would have predicted as we hit half-time with only a two-goal deficit. So the Storm did really, really well in that last quarter to Madison Poland being really great to shut out those goals and the rest of the team also stepping up to get some goals in on the other end. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, the goal scorers anyway for the Storm, for their 15, Mia Inch had 7, Ivy Larwood had 3 in the second half to take her tally to 4. 2 goals to Jasmine Vogelsang and 1 to Perez White and 1 to Looker. And for the Comets, 2 goals to Olivia Scamoni and Isabel Brown, Kate Osborne, Charlotte Dallison and Katie Abbott with 1 apiece, 15-7. Predictions for the MVP, Hannah?
Madison Poland, Mia Inch, Ivy Larwood, all of those girls had a really great game. Even Jasmine Volgensang, she had a lot of turnovers in the defensive end, so that really helped bring that over, and she also managed to get a few in the cage as well. So she did really, really well from the Storm side. From the Comets side, I think Isabel Brown, again, Katie Abbott had a great game in centre, being able to try and get the possession for the Comets out of the draw, which helped them with a lot of their offensive possession. Olivia Scamoni, Kate Osborne, all of the goal shooters, and I think there was a lot of girls who played up and down a lot today, so effective on both ends of the field.
No, so they really would.
Could go to a range of girls today.
As we just have a look at some of the highlights in the last quarter there from the replays, and it really was all Storm. I mean, the Comets, probably what hasn't shown up on these, though, probably as important as their goals early, was the back checks. I think the Comets had an opportunity to cut the margin to 3 very early on in the piece. But on 2 occasions, the defence, as we say, held fairly firm for the Storm, and they did a fantastic job. And what that did was that freed up this stuff at the other end with Mia Inge getting back here, scoring what was the Storm's 14th goal. And, of course, there was one more there with Jasmine Vogelsang getting herself open on the inside here as they pressed forward, drew the players, as you can see here, just sneaking on the inside, unmanned, and then bang, putting that one low. To rip that one there and finish that with the Storm's 15th. And we finish with our final score of 15-7 as the teams just come together for the MVP presentation. But as I say, for tomorrow, for later on today, the Flames and the Stars will do battle. That won't be broadcast today. We're going to be broadcasting those games tomorrow. The idea being we want to try and cover 16 teams as opposed to just the same 8 teams on both days. So today, the Flames and the Stars will do battle, and the Fire and Waikato Black will do battle in the majors for the women's. On the far side, on the men's side of the draw, Metro obviously doing through, Southern Cross leading by a score of 8-4. But for you at home, for the rest of the day, for Western Australia, we'll be showing the Braves and the Thunder up next. And then after that, it'll be the Phantoms and the Northern Warriors for all of you back in Victoria. They'll be the minor placing games. So as we just see if we can pick who the MVP was down there. Number 7, I think that was. I think that one was Chelsea Sinclair. Had a great game in defence, I think, for the Comets. And as we look at see who the Storm MVP was for those who are keeping track at home. Just waiting to find out who that person is now. No doubt Kath giving a stirring speech down there as she's sort of getting to who the MVP is. We look for that. And Mia Inge. No brainer.
No doubt.
6 goals in the first half. That was an easy one. I don't even care if she's won one already.
That was an incredible game by Mia. Even up and down the field, she played a bit of time in defence, did a lot of solid work down there, and then obviously had an incredible game in offence.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, well, look, we're going to wrap up here from this game here now. To wrap this one up, we might... we'll bring up the schedule and we'll just show you what we've got coming up next. We've got the Braves and Thunder, as I said, we've got them coming up next. Just for those at home on the far side, it's the Southern Cross still leading the Stingrays 8-4, I believe, in the final quarter over in that game. It looks like that's the Southern Crosses to lose. But coming up later today, as you can see, the Braves and the Thunder up 145. And then we're going to have the Phantoms and the Warriors doing battle at 3:30. Before we sign off, a big thank you to our broadcast partners. We'd like to thank the Australian Lacrosse Association, our main broadcast partner here today, as well as our tournament sponsors, Living Choice, great supporters of lacrosse in South Australia and in Australia, and also the City of West Torrens for assisting us in making this facility available to us. So we're just going to sign off here now. We might try and keep the camera rolling so we could perhaps see something on the far ground. If we can do that, we'll see what we can do for the people at home. But from the commentary standpoint, Hannah, thank you very much for your help.
It's okay. It was a pleasure to come and get back involved in this under-15 tournament. It's so good to see these young girls giving it their best. It brings back memories of when I was down here, catching the train to Melbourne and flying to Perth. So it really is just so great to be back and being involved.
We're going to put the pressure on you to come back tomorrow, and if not, we ask Facebook Land, let us know how good a job you think Hannah done, and we'll get her back tomorrow, so that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I should be able to swing by tomorrow, so I'll do my best.
That would be cherry ripe tomorrow. So thank you very much, guys. We're going to sign off now. We're going to try and bring you the end of the Southern Cross Stingrays game. So thank you very much, everybody, and all the best, and we'll see you later this afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okie dokes, guys. Welcome back. Look, just because we can, because these other games run over this game, the last Storm Comets game, we're going to try and bring you the end of the Cross game. So share this as much as you can, get everyone involved as we are in the last quarter here. The Stingrays are coming back into this one. There's a flag down on the play as we just wait and see what the call's going to be. Looks like there's been a little bit, looks like there's a cross check, so we just wait and see who that call's going to be on. So there's going to be some opportunities here. The Stingrays might be coming back in this one. The Cross seem to have been in control for the better part of this game. But there's a cross check, 1 minute. So the Stingrays are going to get an opportunity here to tie this game up. So not tie it up, but at least cut the margin here. So we've got about 5 minutes to go. That's still more than enough time. As ball's loose on the far side as the Cross look to try and clear the ball. The Stingrays feverishly trying to keep that ball down. As the Cross now look to try and press in. They are still running man down. They are still man down. The Stingrays are going to want to try and press here if they can. But the Stingrays are going to get the ball back. They go for the quick restart. They look to try and press, but the refs are going to bring it back as we've got another flag down on the play. As we wait and see what the call is it's going to be. There's something going on here on the far side. The cross might be sent as well, so there's just going to be a quick consultation. There's a hold on the play. He's going to go for 30 seconds. So the cross are going to be down here, 2 men, leading by 3 halfway through the last. Can you keep that to Christian for me? As the Stingrays now look to try and go into their set, they're running a 3-3. They kick the ball around, looking to try and set the play. It could be something akin to they're running a wheel as they kick the ball around the back now. Looking to try and create on the bottom corner, which is the point of the wheel. Throws the fake, great save in the cage. Rips it high, and the Stingrays have cut this one to 2. With under 4 minutes to play, the clock will continue to run. Only the last 2 minutes of the play is stop clock. As the Stingrays cut this margin now, it's at 9-7. As we got a timeout, as the Cross still find themselves a player down, sitting in the box. Endeavouring to try and cover this game. So again, share it out if you can. This is a pure bonus game for you because the Cross and the Stingrays have run well past what our coverage game has run. As we try and... we'll bring this one to you guys back in Victoria in particular who are trying to watch from the Southern Cross. So share this one around now and get everyone involved as we hit the dying moments here. Of course, there's a spot in the grand final up. The clock's continuing to run. It's obviously not going to be accurate, but we'll try and keep an eye on that for you. But the Southern Cross still look like they have somebody sitting in the box. So the Stingrays will remain man up. Of course, the hold has been cancelled. So they were 2-man down. They're now 1-man down. But that was a fantastic finish there as they ran around. And I think from memory on the goal, and you must forgive us, we're on the far side of the ground here. But I think that might have been Sean Filippo who picked that one up on the outside. Just a great seagoing goal as the fantastic save was made by the Cross keeper. But he's picked it up. So of course, the prize here, the Cross and the Stingrays, winner goes to the grand final against the Western Metro. And the loser will drop down and play in the third place game for the Northern against New Zealand. Of course, Southern Cross and the Western Metros both battling, both won this tournament on multiple occasions. The Metros are gunning to tie the Braves as being the most winningest program here. Meanwhile, the Stingrays are trying to end a mammoth South Australian men's drought. They haven't won the under-15 tournament since 1992. Since the inception of the current format back in 95, no South Australian side has ever won this. So, of course, huge amount of pressure here on the Stingrays as they look to try and push this in on home turf. As we're back in the middle now for the face-off. Players return to position. Of course, Stingrays at a man advantage, but the Cross have managed to pick the ball up. They're looking to clear it and press it into attack as the clock continues to run. No doubt it's going to be feverishly pushed there as Xander Elkins picks up the ball. Great face-off through the middle by the Southern Cross. They were a man down on that. It was a 3-on-2, and they've come up with the ball as they look to clear. The Southern Stingrays look to try and press. They look to try and... The ball hasn't gone into the attacking quarter, so I think they can clear over the halfway line. Now it's gone in. Now they are locked in, and we've got a flag down on the play, and there's 2 flags on the play. Nice amount of airtime there. So we've got a slash for 1 minute, and then there's another foul. Oh, no, it looks like it might be a unsportsmanlike. That could be an absolute backbreaker for the Stingrays as there's an unsportsmanlike presumably on the box. Hard to see from here, but because he's pulled out his card and he's picked the first home, I'm presuming that's going to be a call on the box. So the Stingrays now have gone from being a player up to being 2 players down in the dying minutes of this game as the Cross lead this one by 2. Ignore the clock on the field, on the thing. We're probably looking at about 3 minutes to go here. As the Cross have the ball, but the ball's being turned over. That's a cardinal sin by the Cross. No one backing up there. Just because it's such a short time. The Stingrays are going to get the ball back. Mightn't have been a shot. Sorry, again, we are a long way from the position up here in the commentary box. As the Stingrays look to try and push this forward now into attack. They're 2 players down, and they're both personal fouls, so they're going to have a fair bit of time to kill as I think that was Xavier Ambrosius tries to push him over. The Stingrays looking to try and do something here while man down, 2 men down. looking to try and kill the penalty clock, but they're going to want to not... They're in damned if they do, damned if they don't. They're trailing by 2. They need to press, but by the same token, it's really hard when you're down 2 players. I'd expect a timeout here to probably come from the Stingrays if they can. As the Stingrays with the ball, quite happy to sort of kill it off. The cross quite content, and the Stingrays have killed the penalty. They need to get back into it on 6-on-6. If they can, trailing by 2 here in the dying moments of this game. Stingrays step on the inside. Big hip and shoulder there from Xavier Ambrosius. The ball dislodged as they look to battle for it. There's a flag, a penalty in the corner. Looks like a loose ball. Just, I think there's some... Now we got a flag on the play. Looks like the Southern Cross are going to be sent. So Ambrosius has been called for that hit. He now takes a seat. Cross still leading this one by 2 in the dying minutes of this game. As our referees just get this sorted out, get everybody into position and where exactly they need to be. They look to continue to move the ball around, and they've cut the margin to 1. The Stingrays are coming back. Dying minutes of this game. Southern Cross looking to desperately hold on here as a 9-5 scoreline's quickly turned into a 9-8 scoreline, and all the momentum is currently with the Stingrays. And to say that this is going to be an important face-off would be stating the obvious, as both sides now return to the middle. Still doesn't appear to be a clock on the field at this stage, so there's still plenty of time here for the Cross, for the Stingrays if they can. The 2 penalties just incurred didn't necessarily seem to cause them any grief. So we're back in the middle now for a face-off. And the ball pops out the back, and the Cross just dominating out of the middle there. That's Clyde Robard Penders from the MCC who picked the ball up. But then we've got, it might have a... Stingrays are going to get the ball back here. They're going to have every opportunity to try and tie this game. So look to press the ball into attack, look to get everybody a touch. Still, obviously, a bit of time on the clock in this one. They're not in any particular rush. As they kick the ball around to X, we're on 6-on-6 time here at the moment. Nice little spin dodge. He's got some space. Looks to rip, puts it down, and we are tied at 9. We are all tied at 9 here. Last quarter here of the major crossover game. We could be heading for sudden victory here on the far side as the Stingrays keep their hopes alive. They've come all the way back, and they have tied this game back at 9, and the Stingrays couldn't be happier about it. As the crowd here slowly building, particularly on this side of the field in the grandstand, all sitting back trying to enjoy it from a distance. Nice little crowd building here on a glorious day here in Adelaide, here in West Adelaide. This game is tied at 9 apiece. Southern Cross enjoying some dominance in the middle of the field, but not able to capitalise that into any extended possessions. But they're now going to have to get back on their bike because they're going to need to score another goal if they're going to win this game. So we're back in the face-off. A thrilling game over here on ground 2. Again, this is just apologies for the distance that we are. This is a bonus director's cut, add feature, call it what you want. You're sticking around at the back of our Storm Comets game, so we've been able to bring you the end of this thrilling, exciting game on the game number 2. Southern Cross and the Stingrays, a hell of a face-off going on at the moment. Mano a mano. Looks like the ball's popped out. Cross are going to go on the fast break. So we're mixing off the screen. There's a bit of a lag here. As the Stingrays get the ball back, and they're now deep into their attacking quarter. Stingrays with an opportunity here, still looking for a clock on the field. Still no clock on the field at this stage. So they're still going to have some time as I think they look to try and... They're bordering on stall territory here at the moment as the pick is set. Great trail check though. Ball in with dispute. The Southern Cross now with an opportunity to get the ball and push forward. I think we have a timeout on the field. So we are Can't be too long left in this game at the moment, and we are still tied at 9 apiece. The Stingrays an opportunity here to try and put together a set that could very well put them through to tomorrow's final, a rematch potentially of yesterday's thriller. Either way, we're going to have a great game with the Stingrays pushing either option great. Either we get an all-Victorian derby or we're able to get ourselves a rematch of the Stingrays Metros thriller from yesterday, as this game is still tied at 9 apiece here in the last quarter of this game. And again, I apologise if you're just joining us. This is the end of the live look at the end of the major semi-final between the Stingrays and the Cross. The Stingrays have scored 4 unanswered goals to tie this game up at 9 apiece. It is not part of our broadcast schedules, hence the a little hard to sort of get a good look at it because it is over on ground 2, but we thought we'd try and bring you the end of this game if we possibly could do. As the Stingrays are now going to have an opportunity to try and win this game. We're in the dying moment. Still no clock on the field at the moment. Stingrays in no rush. They must know there isn't too long left in this one, so they're quite content to try and kill it. But they're going to want to move slowly, otherwise I could foresee a stall call going on here. Definitely not attacking the ball. Looking over at the bench, trying to look at the clock. As we're just waiting for the clock is in the hands. As great check by Blake Stringer. We got a flag down on the far side. So we wait and see what the call is. There's a flag down, so someone's got to go. It looks like there's a foul on the far side. I think the Cross had too many men on the field, as it's pandemonium over on the Cross side, but the Cross are going to get the Stingrays are going to get a man up here with the clock moments from going onto the field, and the clock is on the field now. Stingrays with the ball, an opportunity to potentially win this game. Steps on the inside, rips the shot, gets a piece. Ball rolls out of bounds. Clock should stop. So clock is on the field. We're under 30 seconds to go here. Stingrays in a man up. Game tied at 9. A little bit of trying to figure out what's going on here as clock is stopped. Chaos over on ground number 2. Just getting it sorted out. The Stingrays are going to get the ball with the clock on the field and they're man up in a tied game. This is to get this thing through to a final. Not long left. Steps on the inside. Loses possession of the ball. Great defense, and there's a flag on the play. So at the very least, the Stingrays are going to go into the next quarter man up into sudden victory. Just joining us, let us know we're not talking to ourselves. Say good day, say hello on the Facebook feed. As I say, this is a bonus game for everybody at home. I'm sitting here looking at a Metro coach at the moment whose head's about to explode, trying to figure out who he's going to play in the final over there. But it all seems to be happening at the moment. And I suspect from memory that looks like there's a timeout as we're trying to figure out what's going on. I think that's a timeout over there. But what will happen is this, is that if we hit the end of regulation and the scores are still tied, it will be dealt with like would usually happen at a quarter changeover for those of you at home. So the Stingrays are obviously, if we suspect this isn't sudden victory, what we suspect is going to happen is that they'll get a chance to win, and if they don't, if they win, the clock will stop, run out the way our game will normally finish. If not, though, with the player now in the box from the Cross, whoever has the ball will start sudden victory with the ball. So whoever has it will start with it. which means the Stingrays, in theory, if they wanted to, could hold the ball out now and start overtime with a man up and have longer time. So strategically, well, here we go. No, it all makes sense now. Here we go. So it is. That was the end of the game. Apologies again. We are about 100 metres from the ground up here in the commentary position. So what's going to happen now is a player in the box. The captains are now going to figure out which way they're going to shoot. Once that's sorted out, because there is a player in the box and the Stingrays had possession, the Stingrays should be starting with the ball. And we're in sudden victory. So it'll be 4-minute periods with a 2-minute break in the middle. And we will continue to roll around that until somebody scores a goal. So we don't call it sudden death anymore because that's not politically correct. We now call it sudden victory. So sudden victory for all of you there at home. That's why you see SV. Don't ask me. I don't write the rules. I just enforce them. But it's sudden victory we're now entering into. And this is for a spot. This is for a spot in tomorrow's grand final. So the stakes couldn't be higher here for those who are tuning in. So again, if you are just joining us, bonus game for you. We have overtime over on ground number 2. Southern Cross and the Stingrays, 9 apiece. It's 9 apiece, and the Stingrays should be starting with the ball, provided that they had it at the end of the period, which I think they did. One, two, three. Looks like they're sending everybody down there, so it does look like the ball is going to start with the Stingrays, as there appears to be a zebra streaker on the field. We get a good look at him here as he runs across. God knows what he's doing, stealing chairs. Someone tell that man this game's still going on. As the ball now sits in the bottom corner here. So the Stingrays. So basically, next goal wins. Over there on ground number 2. For a spot in the final against the Western Metro. Loser plays New Zealand for 3rd. We're probably going to roll straight into the next game as well, so don't go too far. We're going to have the Braves and the Thunder up shortly. We're going to stay with this game on ground number 2 for as long as we possibly can do. As the Stingrays go into their set again, they're looking to run a wheel here. Look for the player to come up. The goal's going to come from the bottom corner. If it is, he looks to dink to the bottom corner. Rips the shot. Puts it through. This one's over. The Stingrays go through to the grand final. They've come from nowhere to upset the Southern Cross from Victoria. And the Stingrays are going to get an opportunity to end South Australia's drought in the under-15 boys with a thrilling hometown win here. The grandstand closer to me has gone absolutely nuts as the Southern Cross, leading 9-5 in the 3rd, have fallen to a rampant Stingrays who have scored 4 last quarter goals. And then the game winner in sudden victory on man up to proceed heading into tomorrow's grand final. So, look, we're going to have a very quick break if we can, just to catch our breath. So it's going to be Metro Stingrays tomorrow. We'll be back in a few minutes with Braves Thunder. You're watching the Australian Lacrosse Network.